My name is Scarlett Hayes. I'm 29, and for most of my adult life, I believed loyalty to family was everything. Turns out, loyalty means nothing when it only goes one way. For 3 years, I lived in the guest house behind my parents' estate in Colorado Springs. It wasn't luxurious, but it was peaceful, my own little sanctuary with white curtains, soft morning light, and quiet evenings. I was saving up for my first home, carefully budgeting every dollar. I paid $1,500 a month toward my parents' mortgage. That was our deal. It wasn't rent. It was my way of helping them while I saved. They got support. I got stability. At least, that's how it was supposed to work. Then my younger brother Landon showed up. Landon had always been the family charmer, the golden boy who never faced consequences. If he crashed a car, Dad called it a lesson. If I made a mistake, it was a lecture on responsibility. He appeared unannounced one evening, dragging a duffel bag that smelled like cheap cologne and stale cigarettes. "Hey, sis," he said casually, as if months of silence hadn't passed. Dad helped him inside. Mom fluttered around him like he was made of glass, offering food, money, comfort. I stood in the doorway, exhausted from work, watching it all like a movie I'd seen too many times. Landon had lost his bartending job in Denver, and according to him, he just needed a place to regroup. But within days, it was obvious nothing had changed. He stayed out late, slept half the day, and treated the house like a hotel. Then came the truth. He was drowning in debt, credit cards, gambling apps, payday loans. Tens of thousands gone. When my parents called me into the living room that Sunday, I already knew. "Sweetheart," Mom began gently, "your brother made some bad choices. He just needs help catching up." I asked. Dad's tone hardened. "We're a family, Scarlett. You've got a good job. You can help him." I blinked. "I already do. I pay part of your mortgage every month. I can't." Dad cut me off. "You'll get it back when he's on his feet." I looked at Landon. No remorse, just a lazy smirk as he scrolled his phone. That was the moment I realized I wasn't a daughter. I was a wallet. The next few days were suffocating. Mom's guilt trips grew sharper. "Family helps family. Don't you remember all we did for you? You'll understand when you're a mother." Dad was blunt. "You're single, you can afford it." I poured myself into work instead. My job as a marketing strategist at a Denver agency was my lifeline, a world where effort was rewarded. I was leading a campaign for a major outdoor gear company, and it was going well. Late nights, tight deadlines, but mine. Until the chaos followed me there, too. During a client call, my boss, Vivian Cross, caught me spacing out. I'd mixed up 2 figures. "You okay, Scarlett?" she asked quietly after the meeting. I forced a smile. "Just tired." But inside, I knew it wasn't just tired, it was drained. A week later, I opened the mail from the main house. Among bills and junk was a credit card statement I didn't recognize, with my name. $5,000 charged to bars, online casinos, and even a rental car in Denver. My stomach dropped. I knew instantly who was behind it. I stormed into the kitchen, where Landon was half asleep over a bowl of cereal. "You opened a card in my name," I snapped, holding up the bill. He barely looked up. "Relax, I'll pay it off." "You committed fraud," I shouted. "That's my credit, my future." He smirked. "You've got savings, just cover it for now." Something inside me broke. That night, I was on the phone with the bank for hours, reporting identity theft, freezing accounts, locking my credit. My hands shook the entire time. When I showed my parents the next morning, I expected outrage. Instead, I got excuses. Mom whispered, "He didn't mean it." Dad's tone was cold. "It's done now, just pay it off." I stared at them, disbelief burning through me. "You're defending him." Dad's voice sharpened. "Don't throw family away over money." I laughed bitterly. "You threw me away for it." A week later, Dad called a family meeting. When I walked into the living room, Landon was sprawled on the couch, Mom wringing her hands beside him, Dad packing. "We've got a problem," Dad said. Your brother owes more than we thought, 10,000. You'll help or you're out of the guest house. For a second, I thought it was a joke. Then I saw Landon smirk. I'm not paying his debts, I said quietly. Not anymore. Mom's voice cracked. He's trying, Scarlett, please. No, he's not, I said. He's been trying for 10 years. Dad's eyes hardened. Then you can find somewhere else to live. Silence. Mom reached for him, whispering, David. But his expression didn't change. I looked at Landon, so casual, so confident I'd cave. That's when I knew. I was done being their safety net. That night, I called my best friend Tessa Monroe. Scarlett, she said firmly after I told her everything, pack your things. Tonight if you have to, you owe them nothing. Her words hit like thunder. Over the next few days, I moved like a ghost, packing clothes, files, keepsakes. I booked a small moving van for Saturday. I transferred my savings to a private account and cut off every joint tie. Saturday morning, while my family was away at a cousin's wedding, Tessa and my coworker Derek Vaughn arrived to help. Derek glanced around the quiet guest house. You ready? I nodded, more than ever. We loaded boxes fast, hearts pounding each time a car passed. Within an hour, the space was empty. Before leaving, I sat at my small desk one last time and wrote. Mom, Dad, you told me to leave, so I am. I've paid your mortgage for years. That ends today. I'm not responsible for Landon's debts, or yours. I love you, but I'm done being used. Scarlett. I placed the note on the counter, locked the door, and didn't look back until we reached the road. For the first time in years, I felt free. Tessa's apartment downtown was tiny, cluttered, and alive with noise, but it felt like peace. I slept deeply, no guilt, no tension. A week later, I'd found a rhythm again. Work, dinner with Tessa, long evening walks. My life was finally my own. Then came a text from Mom. Please call. The bank is threatening foreclosure. When I didn't respond, she called. Her voice was shaky. We just need you to cover the mortgage a few months. I stared out the window. You told me to get out, I said quietly. I listened. She sniffled. Your brother trying. I'm not, I interrupted. I'm done fixing what you let him destroy. I hung up. My hands were trembling, but from resolve, not fear. A month later, word spread through the family. Landon hadn't changed. The debts grew. My parents were sinking fast. The bank had sent a final warning. They were losing the house. Cousins whispered that Dad blamed Mom. Mom blamed Dad. And both of them avoided each other in silence. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt done. Because I'd warned them. I'd carried them. And they'd thrown me away the second I stopped paying. Now they were learning what it meant to stand on their own. Meanwhile, my world bloomed. The campaign I'd led launched flawlessly. Clients doubled their projections. A week later, my boss Vivian called me into her office. Scarlett, she said with a rare smile, you're being promoted to senior strategist. Congratulations. My throat tightened. Thank you, I whispered. The raise was generous, but the validation meant more. It proved that walking away hadn't broken me. It had set me free. That night, Tessa ordered champagne. Derek brought pizza. To new beginnings, Derek said, raising his glass. To freedom, I replied, smiling for real this time. Months passed. My parents lost their house. They moved into a small rental outside town. Landon couch-surfed, posting photos about reinventing himself. But I never called. Sometimes I'd think about the old guest house, the way the light filtered through the curtains, the smell of coffee in the mornings. But then I'd remember the shouting, the guilt, the endless taking. Now, mornings meant sunlight, quiet and peace. No guilt, no manipulation, just me. Looking back, I've learned something powerful. Walking away doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love yourself enough to stop being destroyed by them. My family built their comfort on the belief that I'd always save them. When I finally said no, their world fell apart. Not because I failed them, but because they never learned to stand without me. And that's not my burden to carry anymore. So, to anyone who's always been the responsible one, the fixer, the peacemaker, listen closely. You are not selfish for leaving. You are not cruel for choosing peace. You are brave for saving yourself. I did. And it changed everything. What would you have done in my place? Comment below. Because sometimes, choosing yourself isn't cruelty. It's justice.